If I was standing here 6 years ago, I would look completely different. That's because I was a monk for 20 years. And now I'm running an art gallery. Like all things in Myanmar, you could say I'm in transition. The topic I'm going to talk about today is Kutho, merit, Pyay, knowledge, and Ucca, riches. Don't worry, it's not a Diyaware or a monk sermon. I'm not going to preach to you. I became a novice when I was 9 years old in a little village called Ucca in Sitagu in Upper Myanmar. Of course, I did not know what it meant and whether I wanted to do it for the rest of my life. I asked my mom to send me to the monastery to become a novice because I wanted to play with my friends as they all stayed in the monastery. After becoming a novice, I lived in the monastery and studied the monastery education, and I also went to the government school. I stopped going to the government school after fourth grade because we only had one primary school in the village. 99% of people's education in my village just ended after fourth grade because we couldn't go to any middle school or high school in the city, which is far from our village. There were no cars, no motorbikes, like these days. We only had 1 or 2 trains every day or every other day at another village station, about half an hour walk from our village. But I was lucky enough to pursue further monastery education because I decided to stay in monkhood. It provided me opportunities to learn and travel. For a kid from a little village, it was such a good life and peaceful life. My family and the whole village supported me. They sent me money and donations and whatever I may need. When I was about 12, I received the opportunity. I had never been to outside of my district. I heard this news while I was playing with my friends in the monastery. My monk teacher said, "Hey, Kusla," because my monk name was Kusla, "you have to go to Yangon to study." I still remember that day. I ran home to tell my mom because I was so excited. She was sitting on the bamboo floor in our little house. It seems like she already knew about it because she called out to me and said, "My son, come here. These are for you," pointing out to a big bag of rice and a can of cooking oil. I knew those were what she saved through working almost a year. And she said, with a gentle smile, "I will set these for you. You have to go and study in Yangon and be a good student." I said, "Yes," very quietly. Although I was excited, I was so sad to leave my family because it was the first time for me to be away from home. Since that time, I traveled and studied in 4 different monasteries in Yangon and Mandalay and Sitagu. As I promised to my mom, I was a very good student. I obtained the master's degree in 2005 when I was 21. It is the monk equivalent of getting a doctorate. I came to Yangon with my mom for the graduation. She was so happy and proud to see me having this higher degree in the monk's order. When I finished that master year, I started learning English. Then my worldview became even bigger. In 2008, I was given the opportunity to pursue a master's degree in India. I decided to study linguistics rather than religion because I had been studying Buddhism all my life. It was actually a normal university. There were only 6 months out of about 5,000 students. So I led a normal student's life. But it was a life-changing experience for me. It was the first time I have been this far from Myanmar for such long duration. Suddenly, I realized that it is true that travel broadens one's mind and perspective. I started having new ideas about what I wanted to do with my life. The truth is, I was no longer content with just being a monk. And I also felt strongly that I should be honest with myself. There are so many more things I wanted to do and learn, but it was not possible as a monk. It was agony. I went back and forth over a year and a half about what I should do. A few things kept running through in my mind. I was worried that if I left monkhood, I would be letting down all the people who have supported me all my life. They all would want me to stay on as a monk. I was also really worried about how that might impact other monks. Will I set a bad example, ex defector, or will they lose support? Some monks lose their community because they almost get banished when they leave monkhood. Eventually, when I decided to leave monkhood, I didn't tell anyone, not even my mom. They only found out 6 months later. My mom, my supporters, they cried when they saw me first time as a layperson. They were so sad. But at the same time, they were so excited for my next chapter that they continue to support me until now. Some of them are in the audience here today. This is a completely new chapter of my life. So how did I adjust to this new layperson life after spending 20 years as a monk? Well, it wasn't easy at all. The hard truth is that I did not have a lot of friends, a place to stay, money, business acumen, or a job. It might seem trivial to other people, but for me, it was just coming out to face the world almost as a new person. I had to accelerate my learning process to catch up on everything I have missed as a monk. So what did I learn in the new life? I fell in love for the first time and got my heart broken. I learned how to be comfortable in normal clothes. And I couldn't wear a traditional lungi because I never wore it as a monk. Sometimes, of course, I got drunk and learned how to cure a hangover. I learned so many things from my travel. And I also got a chance to be close to my mom, like this, like a normal person, which is impossible before. Very warm life. Of course, life is never easy. But there are always people in your life who help make your life a little bit easier. I truly appreciate all those who have helped me along the way through friendship, support, encouragement, imparting valuable life lessons to this Dollar Ponji, a village monk. I also learned that metta, loving kindness, reflective. In Burmese, metta yangbian. Without them, I would not be standing here today talking to you. With their help, in 2012, I started the Nawaday Tharlar Art Gallery, which means a place for a new day. I chose this name because everything is new for me in new life, and artists are always looking for new creativity. I named it with a mixture of Pali and English because I still love Pali as a former monk. For this new chapter in my life, I realized that I was running the gallery like a monastery, but a contemporary one, a place where people meet and do good things. I think that's because I simply did not know any other way. I created a space and forum through exhibitions, open mic events, for those who felt isolated, unrepresented, or did not even have a voice. With other collaboration, we also created learning opportunities through free library, classes, workshops on English and art, and charity events to raise funds for humanitarian assistance and political movements. I made more friends and provided a venue together for so many people who would not normally visit a monastery, but who would regularly come to an art gallery. So everything I did as a monk for 20 years was just to gain merit and knowledge. Everything I have been doing with my gallery is also to gain merit, knowledge, or riches. Of course, I did not need any riches when I was a monk. Now, I need to make money to feed myself. But it's very, very important to make money in the right way. It should be Dhamma Ajiva or Samma Ajiva, the right livelihood. To sum it up, from a small gallery in Ali in 2012 to where I'm at today, 5 years later, I have applied these 3 basic principles to my daily life. I will share them with you. You can apply to everything you do daily. I repeat, daily. I said, I'm not going to preach, but old habits die hard. To make the world, even a small part of the world you live in, a better place. Maintain a balance of these 3 basic principles in everything you do. You should either gain merit, knowledge, or riches. Every day in my gallery, I'm either reading or learning new things, which is gaining knowledge, or praying or helping people or doing meditation, which is gaining merit, or selling paintings, which is gaining the right kind of riches. I firmly believe each and every one of us can apply these 3 basic principles to everything we do in our daily life as well, and make a small part of your world better for those around you. Thank you.